All right, I'm Dieter. That's Jake. This thing is Levi's Stadium, and we're here, and Brandon Aiyuk isn't. We're having a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun, folks.
We are.
Brandon Aiyuk, John Lynch, and Kyle Shanahan said that he was going to practice today. Enough was enough. They decided, hey, you're healthy.
Yep.
You're going to have to practice. And Brandon Aiyuk said, nah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, roster cuts went down, and John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan said, all right, well, roster cuts are through. You're healthy. Our team, our medical staff has evaluated you and deemed you healthy.
Yeah.
We don't care about this holding your back thing. You're going to practice. And Brandon Aiyuk went, am I though?
Yeah.
Am I actually going to practice? And he didn't show up.
Yeah.
So now things get theoretically serious, where 49ers might start fining him. That they kept 7 receivers for a reason. They clearly didn't fully expect him to practice. We'll see what happens.
It's $40,000 a day because they're still technically in training camp. So $40,000 a day, technically those fines are forgivable, unlike Trent Williams' holdout, which is $50K and unforgivable, though Trent Williams doesn't seem to give a fuck.
He doesn't seem to care.
And ultimately, it's going to be a really fun week of back and forth between the 49ers and Aiyuk on who will give in first. I guess the Niners have already played their card. Brandon Aiyuk's playing his card. And my thought, Jake, is that there's really nothing to lose at this point, except for, I guess, $40,000 a day, which Brandon Aiyuk made $10 million doing nothing over the last 6 months in capital gains, if you will. So what's $40K a day if he can, I guess, make a point out of this?
I got to say, I kind of respect it. Yeah. It's like, listen, there's been a lot of, like, who's going to fully commit to this thing? Like, are they really going to follow through on all this? Aiyuk saying, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna take this all the way. I think I'm worth $30 million or whatever it is. And if
he's been told he's been worth $32 million to the New England Patriots.
And Aiyuk saying, if you don't pony up the cash, I am just gonna make your life hell.
Yep.
And you can pay me, you cannot pay me, but I'm gonna be stubborn. And you think I'm not gonna be that stubborn because I need the money more than Trent Williams. Like he's saying, I know I don't have the Trent Williams leverage, but I don't care. I don't care what leverage I have or don't have. I'm going to commit to this, and I'm going to prove to you that I am worth it. So
at this point, it's principle for Brandon Aiyuk, and
I think so.
No, he can't retire, but he can retire for a week. He can pull the Trent Williams in that regard. And for the Niners, we've taken an already messy situation, and we've just, we have put it on full tilt. I mean, this is an 11 out of 10, and they got a game in like 9 days. And their ex-receiver, who hasn't practiced once, still hasn't practiced, and this all could have been dealt with one way or another 6 months ago, and yet here we are with days before a game, and it has not been dealt with. As I said yesterday on our stream, Jake, every day that Brandon Aiyuk doesn't show up, just take 5-10 snaps out of whatever you can expect out of him in week one. But I'm going to say something different now. You can't divide by 0, and the 49ers are looking mighty foolish after an offseason where they really pushed the envelope on being cute. They look pretty dumb right now.
And it comes down to the thing of they do business where they wait. And they wait, and they wait, and they wait, and say, we're going to get the deal, and we're going to sweat it out, and you're going to sweat it out. And the problem with that is when one of those players' markets explodes, also both of their markets exploded. Offensive tackle went up. Wide receiver went up. If they did the deal at the start, they could have gotten him for 25. I think that's like what Devontae Smith got. Could have got him for 26. They could have done it if they just said, all right, let's get this deal done. But they have their way of doing things, and they waited. And now they're getting a tough deal, and they're going to say, I think it's going to come down to he has to play on the 5th-year option.
I think that decision's already been made. And Brandon Aiyuk's like, I'm not going out there and practicing. Unless he's going to deliberately injure himself, which, by the way, that would be some galaxy brain energy. He just goes out there, immediately twists his ankle, says, guess I can't play, guys. Guess you can't find me either. But, yeah, it's been pretty clear that the Niners, whether they want to admit it or not, and John Lynch just had a wonderful lying session with us today, just lying left and right and obfuscating the truth. You'd think that John Lynch, who's about to get raked over the coals by every media member in the country, would want to just, I don't know, suck up to us a little bit. I know that we don't matter and it doesn't matter, but like, you would like to probably curry some favor with a bunch of people who are just going to roast the bejesus out of you if you show up to the first game of the regular season without 71 or 11. And instead, he just lied. He just lied for 20 minutes and ducked questions that were in any way insightful. And couldn't even give us straightforward answers on like John Feliciano.
Yeah, the IR thing.
Right.
He's like, that's not how it works, bye. And
Yeah.
and then he just like left.
Even though it is how it works, and then they immediately put him on IR. That's fine, though. I don't give a hoot about that. I just don't know if it's good PR training for John Lynch or good PR execution for John Lynch. And meanwhile, the 49ers, I mean, we just got to come back to the nuts and bolts of it. It's still technically training camp, but they got a game that they are preparing for right here, right now. And they still don't have two of the best players on this team, and they really have no one to blame but themselves for that. It's not a good look.
And you can game plan a game, with like Pearsall and Debo and whatever. You're still missing the only guy can actually beat man coverage.
Is there a good man coverage guy on the Jets?
I don't know. Is there?
I don't know. Meanwhile, we're outside a barbecue restaurant. I wonder what kind of sauces they have. But
wow.
Listen, this is why you come to us.
But no 71. No 71. Good luck.
But they're optimistic something can get done. I do want to give the quote of the day from John Lynch, which is, we've been throwing ideas Trent's way, trying to, figure out some creative ways to get after this. I don't know what creativity is needed on pay me what I want. What creativity is necessary to give Trent Williams more money than any other offensive lineman in football? What kind of...
There's no innovation. It's just pay him the most and he'll come back. Or don't, and he won't. That's the calculation.
It just encapsulates everything that this 49ers offseason has been, which is too cute by half. They're high on their own supply. They're trying to thread needles. Buddy, you don't have... Your string is so thick you couldn't possibly get it through the needle. Do the job or don't. And with this fifth-year option play with Aiyuk, it's something I advocated for. Clearly, they're not going to pay him what he wants here. Go play on the 5th year, franchise tag and trade him at the end of the season. Not fun for Brandon Aiyuk, but the right decision for all parties in the long run of things. This could have been handled much better weeks ago. When the trade stuff that fell through with the Browns and the Patriots came into play, when that fell through and nothing really materialized out of that, that's when you say, Brandon, you're playing on the 5th-year option, you're healthy. And instead they waited until just before a practice. They waited I think it was Thursday, they had him take the physical before the Raiders game, forced him to get on the plane, he's a healthy player, all this, and then they waited until today and said, maybe he'll be at practice, maybe he won't, we'll find out.
They knew he wasn't going to practice. Come on.
This is embarrassing stuff for a team that fancies itself a Super Bowl contender, and
that said, maybe they get everybody back in the building and they're, everything works out. This team has gone through a lot of uncomfortable stuff.
True.
That said, at this point in time, it's not looking great.
Not
looking great.
And if you're someone who believes in vibes, let me tell you, from Jake and myself, our vibes are high. We're buzzing right now. This is interesting stuff. But the vibes with that team back there, not going so hot. We'll see if that changes this week, certainly next week. They got a game.
Very soon.
Very soon. And
prime time, Monday night.
Everyone's going to be watching.
We'll see
We'll see if Brandon Aiyuk will be there by then. We'll talk before then, though. Have a good one.